Welcome, you guys. I'm just getting set up right now. I'm a couple minutes early, so thank you so much for being here. If you guys are joining me at a later time, please know that after my live has ended, it takes about 15 to 20 minutes for the video to process, and then I will be adding timestamps to each of the zodiac signs that I'm going to be covering today. So this is my weekly astro forecast and Tarotscope for all signs. Thank you guys so much for being here. I went on a little vacation this week, and so I didn't really get a lot of readings out. I did put out a pick-a-pile reading. I was guided to do 3 readings, and I decided, like, why not just go ahead and make it a pick-a-pile, because they were all on the same topic. So there is a reading on the channel, if you guys haven't seen it yet, that looks at what messages Spirit has for you at this time regarding the way that we relate to other people. So that is out there for you. I don't know, my thoughts are all over the place, you guys. It's been an amazing week. I went to Merida, which is a city that is just south of where I'm at on the Yucatan Peninsula. I spent a day there on Monday. I had to go to the dentist, and I figured why not just spend the night, get to know the city a little bit better. Tuesday, I came home. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I was in Valladolid, Mexico, and it was amazing. I got to go see Chichen Itza. I had just such an amazing, magnificent time, and I'm probably going to get into it a little bit more on a later video, just a separate video. But I had so many amazing experiences with the Mayan people, okay? And I didn't go out of my way to find these people at all. These people found me, and we had some very, very beautiful exchanges at like 2 separate energy cleansings. And so my energy is just like I'm vibing. I can't even begin to tell you guys. So just kind of setting the scene, seeing if anybody wants to join us. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. We got some Palo Santo on the scene. So yeah, let me go ahead and get into it. I did not get out to you guys an astro forecast for last week. I was just running a bunch of errands to get prepped for my weekly travels. And so what I missed out on talking to you guys about was this first of 2 full moons in Aquarius. And this is really exciting. Last year we had 2 full moons in Cancer, and that was its own vibe because, you know, Cancer is ruled by the moon. It was a very emotional blue moon, whereas this one is a very intellectual one. It's very light, it's very airy. It's definitely all about evolution and revolution. And the first one that we had was last Friday, so just yesterday, I guess, on the 23rd. And then we are going to have another one on the 22nd of August. So the sun has moved into Leo. Happy birthday to all of my lions out there. And we've had the first of these 2. And whenever there's 2 full moons in one sign, we call it a blue moon. So we've had the first of these 2 full moons in Aquarius. And you guys, the energy that the metaphor that my guides have given me for discussing the energy of this particular full moon is like, did you ever try to open a jar that has the lid screwed on like really, really tight, and you try and you can't get the jar open, and then you hand it to somebody and they get it right away, right? It's not that they were stronger than you, it's just you had done all the work, and you hand it over to them, pop, it just comes right off. That's sort of the energy of these 2 full moons, all right? So there's a lot of thinking that's going on, a lot of mental revolution, a lot of breaking free from old ways of solving problems, old ways of relating to people. And this really has to do with the people that are in our larger community rather than anybody who's up close and personal to us, all right? And it's all about revolution. It's about breaking free of any restrictions or limitations. Like Uranus is the planet of the revolutionary, all right? So there's a lot of inner work that's going on at this time, right? You're trying to get the jar off the lid, and it may feel like nothing's going anywhere, but trust me, as soon as we hand it off to the next full moon in Aquarius, that lid is gonna come right off. Okay, that's the energy that I'm getting, and I really, really love it. A couple other things that we have coming up this week. Let me take a little sip of water. I gotta stay hydrated in this heat. We have our fastest moving planet in conjunction with our slowest moving planet on the 25th, which is tomorrow, actually. Mercury is going to be in opposition to Pluto. Mercury is very much our conscious mind, all right? Like our very fast moving intellect. It's about communication. It's about commerce. It's about transactions of all sort, but primarily any transactions that has to do with thought, words, money. We think of money as something that's related to the earth realm, but really money is just an idea, you guys. Money is just an agreement that we have all made with one another, that this piece of paper or this piece of metal means something other than what its actual value is, all right? So it's about our conscious mind, right? Whereas Pluto is the subconscious. Pluto is so very, very deep, and Pluto can often act in a very restrictive way without us even understanding what's going on, all right? So what I'm getting here is that there could be a lot of deep thinking going on, especially coming up off of that. We're still under the energy of this Aquarius full moon until about the 22nd of next month. So coming right off the bat or right in the wake of that full moon, Mercury in conjunction with Pluto could have us finally drawing our conscious attention towards some really, really deep subconscious patterns that have been around for a very, very, very long time. Hi, Vanessa. I'm so glad you're here. And the energy that's coming along with it, it's like the energy of a light switch, all right? You've been sitting there in the darkness for so long. And it's like, you know what? I'm just going to turn the lights on. I'm just going to decide with my conscious mind not to let this subconscious fear, this subconscious belief, this subconscious restriction hold me back any longer. So it's this beautiful, beautiful, like you can sit there. I don't know how. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how else to explain it. They're showing me, and this is really interesting, somebody trying to untangle some Christmas lights and just trying to get them untangled, and then all of a sudden being like, you know what, F it, I'm just going to turn the lights on because now we've got light, okay? So not everything needs to be unraveled. Not everything is going to be understood. We can just choose to leave something behind without ever having gotten to the bottom of it. And I think that's something, it's a really beautiful opportunity that comes along with Mercury in Cancer, by the way, opposing Pluto in Capricorn. These are both cardinal signs. So whatever comes out of this, is something that has the potential to start off a new cycle for us. And it's a really good feeling energy. All in all, when I'm thinking about this week coming up, it just feels like a very good feeling energy. The sun is in Leo. Every day is its birthday. Okay? Because Leo is the sign that is ruled by the sun, and that's the energy that I'm getting right now. Is the sun is our vitality, it's joy, it's happiness, it's truth, it's self-acceptance, and I feel like every day is its birthday. So every day is something to celebrate, even if you do not have a sun sign of Leo. What else do we have going on this week? Mercury is then going to be moving into Leo on the 27th. So the sun and Mercury are there. Venus and Mars are both going to be in Virgo by week's end. And so these two planets went through Cancer, which is very much about how do you feel. And then they went through Leo, which is very much about what do you want. And now they're in Virgo. And Virgo is the doer. Virgo is the planner. Virgo is the logician and the magician, meaning Virgo is the what are we going to do about it? Like, let's make a practical plan to make our wildest dreams come true. It's a really, really beautiful energy. And what else do we have going on? Mars will be in opposition. Mars in Virgo will be in opposition to Jupiter in Pisces on the 29th. And that's really when we begin to look at how can I, practically speaking, how can I take all of the energy that I have and apply it towards steps that are going to move me in the direction of expansion, of openness, of happiness, of just really beautiful new opportunities that you may not have ever allowed yourself to believe in before. And so I'm really, really excited. I think it's going to be a great week. I think it's going to be awesome. What else do I have here? I think that's everything that I wanted to talk about. I am just really excited to get into the Tarotscopes for you guys. So we'll go ahead and do that. Instead of two separate decks, I do have a blend here between my spellcasting oracle cards and my Moonology oracle deck. I don't know why, but those two just felt like they wanted to come together. So I'll be using those for each of my piles. And then I've got my black and white decks out. We have the Bianco Nero and we have the Hermetic Tarot, and those are going to be showing up in the tarot polls for each of my signs. So without further ado, you guys, let's go ahead and do this. We're going to start off, of course, with Leo. Happy birthday, Leos. And we'll make our way through the zodiac to get to Cancer. And so, like I said before, if you guys are tuning in at a later time, all of the timestamps will be added below. So I am calling in divine spirits of love and light, archangels, ancestors, allies, and guides, both mine and those of the collective, to share with us an inspired message about what each of our signs can expect or encounter in this coming week. So you guys, I'm really flexible when it comes to where these signs are at in your chart. Could be sun, moon, rising, Venus, north node, dominant, stellium, who knows? Maybe you just kind of feel like a Leo this week. Everybody should feel like a Leo this week. It's a magical energy. So let's start off with, speaking of which, let's start off with my Leos and see what wants to come out. Leos, your commitment is being tested. And let's see what wants to come along with that. It's a great big deck, but it's a great big energy that's in the air is what Spirit is talking to me about. Leo, your commitment is being tested and it is time to release negativity. These are purple cards, so they're calling my attention to the third eye and crown chakras, all right? I really feel like this is a spiritual awakening type reading for you guys today, Leos, all right? For some of you guys, what this is really about is that Aquarius full moon calling your attention to the ways in which you are different. And it's really, really okay to be different. I feel like, especially when it comes to your belief systems, sometimes it feels like Leo really likes to be the center of, Leo does not mind being in the spotlight, is what I'm trying to say here. Saying, look at me, I am who I am, I love who I am, don't you love who I am too? It's a very, very Leo energy. But there's this one little part of Leo that is having a hard time saying, look at me, this is who I am, because it's a little bit different. It's a little bit unique, okay? And so let's see what wants to come out. The Hermit, not surprised. Seven of Cups reversed. And, all right, let's do this. Yes, okay. So, Leo, this week you're being called to go within. Okay? To go within and seek clarity, because some of what you've been looking at lately might be a little bit of an illusion. And it says time to release negativity here. Your commitment is being tested and time to release negativity. Some of you guys are having fears about expressing like this very deep inner part of yourself. Okay? We've got next the Three of Pentacles reversed with the Nine of Cups reversed. And it's this beautiful message of like, those who matter won't mind, and those who mind don't matter. All right? Okay? So there might be a team that you're on, a group that you're a member of, and you have this like part of yourself that you kind of keep shrouded when you're in that particular company, because it doesn't feel like they're going to be playing along with you. All right? Like Abraham Hicks says, if life should be seen as a game. If you're playing a game with somebody and they're no fun, stop playing that game with them, all right? Because it might call your attention to the fact that anybody who's not trying to build what you're trying to build right now just may not be your cup of tea. All right, that's what this this Nine of Cups reverse really wants to come through as, just not quite your cup of tea. They might not be your people in the same way that you used to think that they were your people. All right? Because you've got a goal. This is you working on your own self, your own vision of self. You see how he's working on this sculpture. It's a human form, right? And the great thing about sculpture is to create what it is that you have in your mind. You don't add anything to it. You're taking away anything that is not it. So Leo, I feel like your commitment to your own vision of yourself is what's being tested here by certain people in your environment. All right? So if they're negative, if their reaction to you being your true self or trying to build and create your own true self is not completely positive and supportive, they just may not be the best thing for you on your path at this time. And so I really feel like you guys are going within to seek some sort of clarity on that issue this week, okay? My beloved Leos, if you are a sun sign in Leo, I hope you really enjoy your birthday. Some of you guys already know I have one child and he is a Leo, and he's already got some really fun plans coming up. So I'm excited for him for that. So there is my weekly tarot scope for my Leos. Let's go ahead and timestamp for my Virgo collective. Virgo, like I said before, Mars and Venus by the end of this week will both be in the sign of Virgo. And that's really, really beautiful because Virgo's ruled by Mercury. Mercury in the tarot is represented by the Magician. The Magician is an act of creation. And I always say that we need to have feminine and masculine are energies, not body parts, right? It is just about an inward and an outward energy. It's the yin and the yang. And when these two things come together, that is what allows for creation. So I'm really, really excited to see what we are all able to manifest at this time, now that we have Mars and Venus moving into the sign of Virgo. All right, you guys, so let's see what wants to come out of the Hermetic Tarot for you guys. Thank you for being here. By the way, if you enjoy the video, please go ahead and hit that like button. It just helps to get it a little more exposure. Justice is reversed. All right. I don't know why I went to this instead of the Oracle deck first. So we'll just do tarot and then we'll get the Oracle deck out. Justice is reversed. Okay, you guys, was I not just talking about the yin and the yang coming together? Now, right now, only Venus is in Virgo. All right. Which means the feminine is there, the feminine energy, the yang, okay? That which attracts versus that which does, all right? The white, the yin is what does. It's the masculine energy. So there's something not quite coming together just yet because it's a lack of alignment. I don't even want to use the word balance as much as alignment here. Which way do these go? Okay, I understand. So the Ace of Wands is upright and the Chariot is reversed. Okay, so remember I said we have a lack of alignment? The Chariot is pulled by two Sphinxes in this case, all right? And if they're not both in alignment with one another, he cannot go in a straight line. All right, so there's this new idea, this inspiration, this burst of motivation to go after something, but it's the black and the white. The yin and the yang are just not quite yet in alignment. So let's see what comes out of the Oracle decks for you guys, for my Virgos. And this is Libra and Cancer are the signs represented by these major arcana. So again, it's a very cardinal energy. It's about getting something started. Shall we? Okay. There's 4. Freedom, confidence, meditate and contemplate. Nothing will come of this situation. Yeah, this freedom has a lot to do with the Aquarius full moon. Wanting to break out of something. All right. And I feel like this is coming from a fact that you guys do have a new sense of confidence in yourselves, right? There's this, Virgo can be very, very practical and just only want to tend to practical matters. And there's this something coming up within my Virgo collective this week that is like, you know what? I deserve better. I deserve happiness. I feel good. I do good. I know that I deserve a little bit more freedom than I have allowed myself. That's a powerful message. And so what Spirit is saying now with this meditate and contemplate, which is a new moon in Pisces, and then nothing will come of this situation. By the way, this new moon in Leo will be coming up at the beginning of August. On the 8th. We're going to have a new moon in Leo on August 8th. For those of you who are concerned, all right? By the way, this is for the period of July 26th through August 1st. I don't think I said that any other time in this video, all right? So, you're feeling a little pinned in. You're saying, I deserve better than that. And so what they're really saying here, all right, I understand, is go within, right? And what they really want you to do is ask yourself, why now? Why not sooner? What was it that you were putting your energy into that was the opposite of I deserve happiness, I deserve success, I deserve joy? Okay? Meditate and contemplate. What have you been investing yourself in, Virgo, that's not really going to pay out in the way that you want it to in the long run? Okay, because nothing will come of this situation. Doesn't sound like something that a Virgo's really going to invest that much time or energy into, because Virgos are very practical. They are, I mean, Capricorn's the sign of the builder. Virgo is the sign of the repairman, is almost what I want to say. Virgo is a sign that can take apart an electronic and figure out, you know what I mean? Did you do that when you were a kid? Like take apart the VCR and figure out how it works, put it back together. Okay? So there's something that definitely needs to be unpacked. You have this brand new idea, this brand new inspiration, this brand new passion. What is it in your life that is not in alignment right now? What are you putting your energy into that is not going to support? I feel like it's really close to what I was saying with Leo. What are you putting your energy into now that is not in support of where it is that you want to be in the future, where you think you deserve to be? All right. But it's this beautiful confidence, motivation, inspiration that's coming through for the Virgo collective. And I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. For some of you, this is also saying that there are certain, you see how she's in this cage? And Chariot's got these pillars around it that almost look like it's being caged. Like you want to move forward, but you can't. And it might not be fair with the Justice card coming out reversed. It might just be a situation that's not fair. But you're going to see it for what it is. And you're going to see how you might be participating in that dynamic. But understand, anything that's holding you back right now, Virgo, cannot do so for very long. So that is some really good news. Best of luck to my Virgos this week. Thank you guys once again for being here with me today. Oh my gosh, I have to be honest with you guys. I've been worried all day about getting through this reading just because it's so long. It can take the energy out of me. I've got my smoothie, I've got my coffee, I got my ice water. But I tell you what, after this amazing week that I had, I slept for like 10 hours last night. Like I laid down around 8 and was like, I'm just gonna have a little nap. I woke up at 6 o'clock this morning. So no complaints whatsoever. But I definitely went. Libras, 2442 is my timestamp for my Libras. Let's see what wants to come out of the deck. Here you are, your full moon. A win-win outcome is forecast, all right? Let's see what else Spirit has. No, those are still stuck together from before. I'm going to split the deck and give it a good shuffle. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I got to go see Chichen Itza, you guys. It was amazing. It was so amazing. Like, it was, all right, I'll tell you a little bit about my Mayan adventure. One of the people that I met when I was in Merida, I actually was just at a store to buy some gems, because I had met this guy and he told me all about the particular gemstones that are really, really important when it comes to Mayan energy work. And then he was like, well, there's ripoffs all over town, so I'll take you to this place that's really, really good. And I was in that place, and I asked this guy about it, and he basically ended up giving me an energy healing, like in the upstairs kind of like secret room of this gem shop. And one of the things that he told me, which is a message I've received before, is that I actually have a past life amongst the Mayans, which is something I already knew. I have past life memories of several other lives, but that I actually was an energy healer in the Mayan tradition in one of my past lives. And so it was just such a very, very, very cool experience for me to go there. And they talked to me a lot about their belief. I have the belief that I talked about last time, we can talk to trees, we can talk to rocks. And so to be there and be in communication with like the trees and rocks of Chichen Itza was freaking amazing to me. So anyways, 2642 is the new timestamp for my Libras, because I kind of rambled on. Actually, no, I'm going to keep it at 2442 because we got a win-win outcome is forecast for them. Let's get more information. Here we go. Bring love into the situation. You're a Libra. That's not hard to do. A new start is coming, and beauty. This is so Libra. This is so Libra, but see how she is looking into the mirror, and that came out with bring love into the situation, all right? Acting from a place of self-love, all right? Libra, this might seem counterintuitive to you, but putting yourself first, putting your own needs and desires and self-love first is going to create the ideal outcome in any partnership that you are involved in, okay? Remember how it says a win-win outcome is forecast, all right? And a new start is coming. There's something going on that may not seem very just. It may not seem fair. It may not seem like an equal give and take to you at this point in time. And they're reminding me of this quote that I came across a while ago that said, if my presence does not inspire you, perhaps my absence will. So Libras, you just deciding that you're going to put yourself first is going to give you the love that you need, but it's also going to give a situation the time and perhaps another person the perspective that they need. All right. I had this amazing reading a while ago that said that the greatest lesson that I was learning in love was to show people, to teach people how to choose myself, how to choose me. And that happens by you choosing you, right? You make yourself a priority, and other people are like, oh, that's what that looks like. Now I know what to do. All right. This beauty card is, see how she's looking in the mirror? And like, let's be honest, that's not what many would consider the ideal body. She's got chubby arms. She's got some low love handles. I think she looks great. But she's looking at herself in the mirror like she's the only woman on earth. And there's this beautiful gold glittering around her. Okay. There's also an image that's kind of happening right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. It looks like a sword. It looks like the Ace of Swords to me. And it's this realization that your beauty comes from within. It doesn't come from how you treat any other person. Your beauty comes from the way in which you hold yourself. And holding yourself in a place of dignity, really focusing on self-love this week, Libra, that is going to create the win-win outcome. Libra can often feel torn. Stop it. When it comes to choosing between themselves and another, right? Libras can be very, very giving, very, very loving, but they know above all that if they're giving to a situation which does not represent their highest ideals of love and beauty, then the best thing to do is draw back the energy and focus on yourself. And that's really what I'm seeing here. Hi, Soul Explorer. I am so glad that you're here. Oh, I didn't know you were talking to me from France. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Absolutely. Be well, darling. So Libras, that's a beautiful message, and I'm really, really happy to share it with you guys. Let's get something out of the Bianco Nero to see what wants to come with it. So this is from my Libra collective. King of Wands reverse. Somebody's not acting authentically. And the Eight of Swords reverse. Because they're not seeing a certain truth. Yeah. That's what they're not seeing right now. That's just it. Oh, this Empress energy, this is Venus. This is you, Libra, okay? There's somebody, I don't want to say they're playing with your time, but they're playing with their own, is what they're doing right now, okay? For some of you, it could be a friend, it could be a romantic connection. And their problem is they're not seeing the Empress that you are. And this could be masculine, feminine, it doesn't really matter, okay? How do I do this? We have the Lovers, the Sun reversed, and the High Priestess, okay? So being together with this person doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel in balance. The truth is right there. Pull yourself back. Pull all your energy back into yourself. If your presence doesn't inspire them, because the King of Wands upright is inspired action. If your presence does not inspire this King of Wands, darling, I promise you, your absence will. Okay? And it's not to be vengeful, it's not to be spiteful, it's not to play games. It's just that sometimes we end up in that situation where we're like, oops, maybe I've been giving a little bit too much to this. So the best thing to do is just go ahead and take that attention and pour it into yourself. But darlings, you're showing up as the Empress and the High Priestess. Like, get you a girl who can do both. Am I right? Yeah. You're amazing. You are amazing. And there's somebody here who has the opportunity to just love the heck out of you. To just love the heck out of you, but they're not seeing it the way that it is. All right? A win-win outcome is forecast. You get to shower yourself with the love you deserve, and this other person gets a little shift in their perspective of what it is that they could possibly lose if they don't get it together. That's all I'm saying, okay? So, like I said, it's not playing games. It's just understanding the dynamic of the energy exchange and shifting it or balancing out when it is needed. So if somebody's not giving you enough love right now, darling, Libra, give it to yourself. You deserve it, okay? Got my Scorpios coming out at 3410. Let's see what comes out from my Scorpios. I feel like that is interesting. I feel like this Mercury in Cancer, opposition to Pluto in Capricorn, is going to feel a little bit annoying to anybody who is Scorpio dominant. Because it's just going to shine a light real quick on something that Scorpios would rather keep in the dark. I'm going to set that down. So what message do we have for my Scorpios this week? Please, Spirit, thank you for being here. These two decks are not working together as well as I wanted them to. There we go. Wow. This full moon energy is definitely getting to you. Because look, we got two great big fat moons in these cards. I have freedom, Scorpios. You're very close to achieving your goal and reconciliation. For some of you, this is returning to something. Oh my God. Okay, let me grab, hold on a second, you guys. I'll let a card slip away from me. Reconciliation is also kind of showing up as balance. Do you see how those two people are like holding on to each other and leaning back? And that's what allows them to keep their balance. Which is really interesting that it says reconciliation and these two people are like leaning so far away from each other. All right? But this is something that you would love to be giving your energy to right now, Scorpios. But there's something that's caging you. Okay? Do you see this dragonfly? This dragonfly showed up with this key to let this person out of this cage. It's a mental cage, that's for sure. That's for sure. And you know what? I said this particular aspect that we have, this transit that we have going on July 25th, might feel a little annoying, but it's the dragonfly showing up with the key. There is something within your shadow, Scorpio, that you're going to shed some light on, and you're going to hate that it's true. But as soon as you realize and accept that it's true, you're one step closer to achieving your goal. Okay? And the goal here is showing up as reconciliation. It could be a reconciliation of two aspects of yourself. Like you've been fighting yourself, but once you get the key to this particular situation, it's going to bring you back into alignment. Let's see what the Hermetic Tarot wants to contribute to this. Yeah, because you see this view here where they're looking up at the moon and all these trees are surrounding, almost like a cage. Okay. Hi, baby. Freddie missed the heck out of me. I will tell you guys that much. He was mad at me. I actually stayed an extra day longer on my trip than I originally planned. And by the time I got home, he was just like, Mom, don't you love me anymore? So you have the Queen of Cups, the Two of Wands reversed, the Sun. Oh my God, you guys are not even going to believe the image in this Sun card. Okay, look at the image in this Sun card, you guys. With this reconciliation, are you serious? This is the moon and this is the sun. As within, so without. Do you guys see what I mean here? As within, so without. Something happens this week that gives you the freedom to step out of an inner cage, right? To allow yourself to move in a direction emotionally, internally, that maybe you didn't allow yourself to before. Because here's this Queen of Cups and this Two of Wands. It was right in front of you and you weren't choosing it. And I really believe that it is an emotion. And as soon as you do that, it opens up this door. Okay? This is very much an as within, so without type of energy. Letting down defenses and just being at peace with an old cycle. A cycle that has reached its end, because we have the 10 of Wands here. Okay? 7 of Wands reverse is letting down. Look, is getting out of this freaking cage. Okay? See how the 7 of Wands is a very blocking energy. Like this cage. Something happens within, and it releases some barriers or blockages that you had on the inside. And once it happens within, boom, the external world is going to reflect that back to you. Wow. Yes, yes, it starts within. There's some little teeny tiny like dragonfly that shows up and you're like, oh my God, there's the key. That's what I need. I can let myself out of this cage. Allow, and I really think that a big part of it, especially with these 2 moons and the Queen of Cups, is about allowing yourself to feel a feeling that you may have judged yourself for in the past. Okay? This time you do it without judgment. It's not a this or that. You know what I mean? It's almost like when people are in, and this is just an example, when people are in toxic situations with somebody that they love, they're like, oh, this person can't be bad for me because I love them. No, if that's a this or that, one thing can be true or the other. The realization here is like, you know what? Somebody can be bad for me and I can love them. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like there's this truth you weren't willing to let yourself see. And once you see it, once you release that within, you release the resistance that you're putting up to your desired manifestation without. Okay? And that's really beautiful. I love that. And also be at peace with the way in which you have maybe restricted yourself in the past. Just be at peace with it. Just say, no, that's, when you know better, you do better. And I guess back then I didn't know that well. All right? Just accept it, release it, and everything is going to be good, my beloved Scorpios. All right? So let's stack everything back up for my Sagittariuses and see what's coming up for them this week. Welcome, friends. I hope you all are well. If you're enjoying the video, hit that like button. If you want to drop a comment below and say hi so I know who you are, that'd be awesome. Sagittarius. I'm so well. Ooh, Richard Grannon. Ooh, I like, you know, speaking of Sagittarius, that's my rising sign. I love philosophy, just in general. One of the things I did when I was in Merida was I just wandered into a library. It was a Spanish, you know, they have an English language library, but it was not that. And was just kind of browsing the philosophy books, and it's like all these titles that I know, but they're in Spanish, and it was a really fun way to learn new Spanish words. So, Sagittarius. The philosophers, the explorers, the adventurers. What do we have for you coming up this week? Thanks for your patience with my gigantic deck that I created out of these 2 oracle decks. Let's see what comes out. Again. I'm going to put these 2 back in because they came out back to back in the last one. That our society. Oh, yeah. Oh, that is so true. And in fact, there's so many people that I talk to when I do readings that's what's happening with them, is that they didn't really allow themselves to grieve. Because it's almost like we live in such a busy, fast-paced society where there's always something to be done. But in order to properly mourn or grieve something, sometimes you just have to stop the doing and allow yourself to feel and release, right? And so I would agree with that statement that our society doesn't allow us to properly grieve the things that we need to. I mean, back in the olden days, you guys, if a member of your family died, like nobody did anything. Nobody went to work. Your neighbors brought you your food, right? We don't allow ourselves to properly grieve these days, all right? Sagittarius, if this is not about your reading, I'm sorry, but that was definitely something I wanted to address. Thank you, Vanessa. All right, adjustments are required. Communication is key. You and your loved ones are safe. Communication is key. Absolutely. This is a conversation that wants to be had. Both people engaged in this conversation want to be participating in it. Because I tell you what, the reason this conversation is being had is to make sure that the status quo can be protected. Do you see what I mean? One or both of these people is putting a lot of thought into what should be or will be said. Okay? Adjustments are required. It's almost like, you know what? Like if you and I are friends and we have a problem and I talk to you about it, that means I want to keep you as my friend. You know what I mean? If we have a problem and I don't really decide that like, I'm going to let this one slide, then there's no conversation to be had about it. Do you guys know what I mean? That's not just me. My Gemini moon, that's not just me. There is a conversation because it's saying, you know what? Like, yeah, exactly. This Four of Wands, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. How do we keep a good thing good? These two people coming together. And I feel like part of what wants to be talked about here is what is each person's plan moving forward. Knight of Swords, Knight of Pentacles. Wow. I feel like for some of you guys, this is definitely about, it's having a conversation about how things are going to move forward. The High Priestess, help me understand that. And then, okay, yeah, absolutely. Okay. This is going to shift your perspective. You're going to see a situation in a brand new way. Okay? This adjustments are required is coming out because somebody recognizes that there is a faulty foundation at the bottom of something that's being built. Okay? This is what wants to be built at this point in time. It's a beautiful connection. But I almost feel like this is two people running in different directions. Or one person running in one direction and the other person being like, I'm not going anywhere. It's kind of the energy that I feel. But then when you put them into this reading, it's about having communications about the past in order to ensure a better journey moving forward, a more steady, a more stable journey moving forward. Okay? And you guys, I got to tell you, honestly, what this High Priestess is wanting to say to me right now, it's almost like either you knew this was coming, or once this conversation is had, there's some sort of insight about it moving forward that you're keeping to yourself. Ace of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands reverse. Don't rush whatever this new beginning is. Okay? Don't rush. This is a new opportunity that is being presented. I don't know what he means though. That's the wrong deck. Yeah. Oh, you guys. Didn't I say it's about protecting something? You might have had a feeling about this, you guys. You might have had a feeling about this. And then boom, it shows up and you're like, oh my gosh, really? This is an expression of love. This is about somebody wanting to defend probably a relationship from any shifting changes. So it's like, look, this has been fun, but how do we make it last? Okay? And as much as a surprise as it might seem to you guys, I feel like you kind of secretly knew this all along. Okay? But communication is key. And so don't just sit there in your high priestess self guarding your knowledge, right? Some of you guys have an intuition that needs to be added into this conversation. All right? And it might be a warning about whatever this Knight of Wands represents, about not rushing it, not basing things only on passion. There's enough pentacles here that lets me know this is something steady and stable that wants to come into your life. And the fact that this conversation is taking place, this is somebody wanting to protect a connection by having a talk about expectations, maybe about having a talk about what happened in the past. Okay, but this is a beautiful new opportunity to move forward. Just know that it is not to be rushed. A lot of things are going to be missed if you try to rush through this. All right? You got it? I love you guys. All right, Sagittarius, let's pack these up and move on to the next sign, which is going to be my Capricorns. Hi, Maria. I'm so glad you're here. Capricorns, you already got a card jumping out at you. But yeah, it doesn't have to be love related, but it's because the Ace of Cups is often universally represented as like an expression of love, but sometimes it's just like an opening up of the heart and of an emotion and letting an emotion be felt and observed and appreciated. And then we say to ourselves, I want to feel more of this emotion. How do I put up the boundaries that I need in order to make sure that that's going to be possible moving forward? All right. So Cappies, let's get into this. Commitment. This is a dove and I want to call it a grackle. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because those are the birds that I have in my yard. I have lots of doves and I have grackles. And I talk about this sometimes, the dichotomy of like the white birds that make this really pleasant cooing sound and the black birds that are like, ah! They're not my favorite, but they're also bullies. They are super bullies. Every time I let Fred outside, they like rally up, like they get the whole gang together and they sit there in the tree and just like bark at him. That's the best way that I can describe the noise that they make. But Capricorn, there is the light and the shadow side of you are coming together in a commitment. This may be you and another person who has a very different disposition to you. Let's see what else comes out. For my Capricorns, what is this commitment about? For some of you guys, this is about honoring a commitment that you have made to somebody. For some of you, wow, that makes sense. You guys, what they show me is that this dove is trying to free himself from this knot that he's in with this yelly bird. Okay? And here's empowerment coming up. Because the more I look at that, the more I want to say entanglement. Capricorns, for many of you guys, your energy has been entangled into a situation that you need to create boundaries around. Balance practicality and spirituality, and you are good enough. This goes along with that empowerment. This is energetic sovereignty, because whatever's going on with the snake, okay, do you see what's going on here? There's two birds and they have these snakes, and the snakes are all pent up, like bound up with one another. Okay, this is an ego attachment, and don't judge yourself for that, because nobody can truly shed their ego. It's like a part of our psyche that is necessary for our existence in this lifetime. I'm gonna get a sip. But this is an entanglement that you entered into not necessarily out of the highest vibrational. I do not know what just happened. It froze on me and it just shut right down, okay? Somebody don't want me to talk about this. All right, guys, I'm back. So you entered into this entanglement, or maybe got caught up with somebody out of like an ego-driven place. It's not like your higher self was like, this is a good idea. It was just kind of like, this is a thing that I need right now. And now you're trying to move upwards towards peace, and they're trying to move downwards towards, they're trying to stay in their ego place, and you're trying to transcend. And so what you really got to do is you have to untangle your snake from them. Okay? You have to create boundaries. Okay, this is a really good thank you. Thank you for that, Spirit. Thank you. For some of you, this might not apply to your particular situation, but it definitely applies to a narrative of like the twin flame narrative about like, oh my gosh, this is my person, this is my soulmate, we're meant to be together. Not if they bring you down, not if they don't encourage your spiritual development, not if you're ready to ascend and they're trying not to, right? Because this is, you are good enough, is like, look, you may feel really spiritually drawn, or even just like magnetically, energetically drawn towards somebody, like so attracted to them. That's what karmic attraction is. Yeah, it could be fun. Yeah, let's give it a try, right? Absolutely. And then you end up energetically entangled with this person. And you're like, just because you're energetically entangled with somebody doesn't mean that you are fated to be. You deserve, you are good enough, okay? That even if you guys, I've talked about this before, soul contracts are like group work. When I was a teacher, and I hate group work. I very rarely assigned group work because I hated participating in group work when I was a student. And the reason for that is I work a lot harder. I take homework a lot more serious than a lot of people out there. So it's like if I partnered somebody with someone and I realized that that partnership was going to bring down the grade of the person who's really working and trying harder, I would be like, you know what, do your own project and hand it in on your own. And our guides understand that. If you have a soul contract with somebody and you've done all the work and they're not prepared for that, it doesn't matter if it's twin flame, soulmate, what the narrative is. If you feel like somebody is your soulmate, but you can't continue to grow and ascend while you're in that relationship, that means you fulfilled the contract. You fulfilled your end of it. You don't have to sit around and wait for them to get their shit together in order for you to continue your ascension. All right? I've heard that over and over and over again. And when it comes to soulmates, twin flames, babe, we have so many options. I'm just letting you know. That's why we make multiple soul contracts. We have like plans B and C and D on deck. Understand, if this person is dragging you down, pull away, empower yourself, put up your boundaries. And for some of you, this is an energetic boundary, okay? You deserve it. You deserve it. Yeah. Because the two fish in the Pisces glyph are swimming in different directions. One is swimming towards spirituality and one is swimming towards just the earth realm. So for some of you guys, this is the beginning of a cycle, and it's the ending of a cycle where you didn't have those boundaries in place. And it's the beginning of this new one where you've got these boundaries in place. You're protecting your own energy because you might have walked away from somebody, but you're like, oh, but I keep thinking about them, and oh, energetically. That's why. That's why Spirit gave me one of those people, was to learn about energetic sovereignty, to learn how to pull it all back and make it all my own again. I'm telling you the truth. And it's hard work, but it is worth it. All right? 5929 Aquas. I didn't even pull any tarot on that, and I'm not mad at that because I feel like I got the message that I needed. Okay? So that was for my Capricorns. Let's see what comes out for my Aquarians. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node. Maybe you are 11th. You have an 11th house stellium or an Aquarius stellium. Let's see what comes up. Okay. Blessings. We're going to go to the Hermetic Tarot, and then we have the Empress. Hello. So something's coming in that you've been working on, Aquarius. Okay? Yeah, there's these scales at the top. You're getting some sort of karmic reward. For some of you guys, the blessing that's coming in is not the thing that you have been invested in, but a replacement. Kind of like we were talking about in the Capricorn reading. Okay? Not all contracts can be fulfilled in this lifetime. That's just facts. Because we get down here. Yeah, yes. They didn't do their part, but you did, and that is your redemption. And we have the Hierophant. Okay. The Hierophant is about the soul contract, you guys. I feel like this is definitely piggybacking on that same energy. Six of Cups, soulmate. Three of Pentacles is about working together. And then the Magician, did I not say? This is not the specific thing that you are trying to manifest, but you put the work in and something is going to manifest. All right? You put the work in and something is ready to manifest. We have the Empress and the Hierophant. And I almost feel like for some of you guys, these are two people. For some of you, this is the blessings that's coming towards you because you have fulfilled some sort of soul contract. But for some of you, this Hierophant actually represents an individual who's very, very mature, very responsible. For some of you, this is a contract, like earth contract, not a soul contract. Exactly. We can only control our part. What others do or don't do is entirely up to them. Did I not just say justice, you guys? Look. You see how we got those scales? Yes. Aquarius. You have put your work into something. And that work that you have put into it, people, there's this saying that like, sometimes what we lose returns to us in another form. So for some of you guys, that's exactly what this is. You didn't even mean, I feel like you haven't even been like focusing your energy on this. For some of you guys, this is a job offer or a job contract that's coming around that you kind of gave up on, like you weren't really pouring all of your attention into it because you just came out of a cycle where you put so much energy and so much attention into something and it didn't pay off the way it was supposed to, the way that you expected to or hoped it would. And Spirit's all like, yeah, we saved you from that. That wasn't the best that you could get. So this Six of Cups and Three of Pentacles is about something that really feels good. It makes you so happy, and it's something that you can build on. Because there's so much stability in this card. The Empress and the Hierophant, both associated with Taurus. Some of you guys might have an association to Taurus. Okay? This is really beautiful. But her face is so stoic, right? It's almost like she's finally saying to the universe, you know what? I worked real hard. I poured myself into that job or that relationship or whatever that project was, and it just didn't work out the way it was supposed to. Accepting that is what brings it right in. Because you've already got yourself into this place of abundance. And I keep hearing it is owed to you. The universe owes you something for your hard work, Aquarius, and it's going to show up. Even if that's not what you're specifically trying to manifest at this point in time. Justice is coming, okay? Karmic rewards for past works that may have even been forgotten by now, okay? I love that. I love that. Okay, get a good shuffle, and we'll move on to my Pisces collective. All right, Pisces. Let's see what wants to come out for my little fishies. And I talked a while ago, you guys, about how there's just this weird thing happening in the space-time continuum, or should I call it the time-space continuum? Because there's a difference between space-time and time-space, all right? In which it almost seems like all of our parallel lives, like past and present and future lives, are kind of all being held in the same space. And so there's a lot of crossovers with people that we've known from past lives, people that we have future agreements with. And so there's a lot of stuff coming up and getting closed out fast. Because it's like, you know, look, either you're in alignment with this or you're not in alignment with this. And for a lot of people, it's not about you, it's about the other person you have the contract with. Some of them are just not in alignment. Okay, so Pisces, your first card out is confidence. Let's see what else is coming up. Too many there. What else do we have for Pisces? Okay, they're saying to pull the other cards. And I am going to go to Bianco Nero. Yeah, you guys are closing out a cycle because there were two tens on the split, a 10 of Wands and a 10 of Pentacles. Something has reached its apex, okay? And it's all downhill from here. And you're headed up. Do you see that? You're headed up. Be confident in your direction. Be confident that staying true to yourself is moving you exactly in the direction that you want to be and that you deserve to be. What else would like to come out to help clarify this message for my Pisces collective, please, Spirit? Yeah, whatever you're moving towards is so much better than what you're walking away from. It's like a root-bound plant. Do you know what I mean? When the plant above the soil can't blossom, can't grow, because underneath the soil, the roots have nowhere else to go. They have nowhere else to expand to. And it begins to affect the health of the part of the plant that is above ground. But you guys, what you don't see is what's coming. It feels like this is a dark moment for some of you when it comes to a particular situation. And what you don't realize, oh my God, I was about to say, is because this is the moment before the dawn. It's always darkest before the dawn. 7 of Wands. Wherever it is that you are going, whatever you're trying to achieve, it doesn't feel right now like you can reach it. I'm getting flashbacks to my dream last night. Why? Okay. I've been literally like, why did I dream this? I had a dream that I was working at like a preschool, which I haven't done in years and years and years. And in this dream, I hated my job. Also, I had a roommate. My roommate is somebody who happens to be a Pisces. But in the dream, I hated my job, and there were all the people around me that just didn't like me very much, and they were all like in my face, like, what's the problem? What's the problem? And without even thinking about what was really going on, I'm just like, I'm tired of being gaslighted. That might be a message for some of you guys because it doesn't make that much sense for me. It's just this job sucked. But then it all came to a head, and that was the resolution that was needed. It's just this weird dream that I had that I worked at a daycare, all right? For some of you guys, that's where you're at. You're at that point where something is coming to a head, and you don't see. For some of you, you want to get loud about it. You want to get aggressive about it. You want to stand up for yourself about it, but you don't see how that's going to pay off. The reason it's going to pay off is it will end that situation. It will find a way to end that situation. For some of you guys, that is the situation. The fact that you need to stand up for yourself in this moment. So have confidence that your ideals, that what it is that you're fighting for is what is in your highest good. And even if it doesn't, like, you can't see the best outcome coming out of that situation, Spirit is saying, trust that it will. Trust that truth, self-acceptance, happiness is going to emerge out of what feels right now like a really shitty situation. Prosperity lies ahead. That's all I'm paying attention to. There's like 8 cards came out, but this is what wants to talk. Prosperity lies ahead. Okay? For some of you guys, simply saying to yourself, I deserve so much better than this. I deserve to stand up for myself. I deserve to say this is BS. And then look what came up on the split. Prosperity lies ahead. Prosperity lies in your truth. Okay? So it might seem really yucky right now. Oh, yes. Gaslighting happens a lot in the workplace, especially if you're in human services in any way, shape, or form. And in fact, you know what? Yeah, I did have a job. The last time that I worked at a daycare, I've been a couple daycares that I worked at. Worked with really, really, really small kids. And I was not given the resources that I needed to be able to do my job well. And I would go to my employer and be like, I'm dealing with very small children here. I have a lot of concerns. They have a lot of needs. I don't have the things I need to meet these needs. And the response being like, oh, I don't know what you're talking. That's just, I'm sorry you see it that way. You know what I mean? So that is interesting because I did have a job in the past where I was being gaslighted. Not just the workplace. Oh, it happens in relationships all the time. And it happens in relationships, and I'm talking about friendships even, because people don't want to admit the truth of what you're saying to them, so they try to get you to doubt your own truth. And I'm letting you know, Pisces are a very malleable energy. A Pisces can walk into a situation saying, oh, I know what I know, and then somebody just kind of like paints a picture that can lead them elsewhere. Like hand them a rose-colored pair of glasses and they're like, oh, I love these, right? But if a Pisces is confident in what they know, gaslighters beware. Gaslighters beware. Pisces, stand in your truth for sure. All right? There's the 8 of Pentacles. For some of you out there, it is work, okay? Aries, preconceived ideas. Yes. Again, like I was saying before, sometimes we're in a relationship with somebody who's bad for us, and like, they can't be bad for this. I love them, somebody you love can be bad for you. But if you have a preconceived ideal and you just can't think outside of that box, somebody can come to you, like literally, the sky could be green tomorrow. And you're like, the sky is green. And they're like, I know what you're talking about. Because they don't want to admit that they don't want to have to deal with a world in which the sky is green. So gaslighting, unfortunately, happens a lot. It's the most convenient way to get you to abandon your truth. is to make you feel like you're crazy for thinking it. Aries. 114. And we're just going to do 11441. Yes, and preconceived ideas that others have of you. Absolutely. Because it's just so easy when we can just label people and put them into boxes. Be like, oh, that's a such and such person. I'm always going to treat them the same way. I'm always going to have all my assumptions in place about that person because I've labeled them as such. And then you show them something that says that I don't meet that label, and they want to deny it. They want to make you feel like you're crazy. All right, look at this. Lots of spell casting oracle cards here. Aries. Aries is finding an inner peace. And we have this reconciliation card come out again, but this one I really feel like it's two ideas. Oh, I feel like this is past and present versions of self is what I really want to say. Yeah, that has something to do with it. There is a 3 of Swords in the back, in the past. And you just kind of keep always going back to it because you don't understand. This is very insightful. I actually understand this. Okay. All right, you guys. So Pisces, I'm just going to explain the situation that's coming up in front of me, the story that's being told to me. Adapt it. Take it as it resonates. Adapt it to whatever situation makes sense in your life. I'm going to have a quick sip. I'm just rotating between the water and the smoothie and the iced coffee drink. All right, you guys. So I'm trying to get the way to articulate this. This reconciliation, this peace and reconciliation, this is you, all right? And you become this amazing glowing figure by uniting these two aspects of you. And you see how there's this like in the background? That's how this person comes to be. This amazing, glowing, radiant, magical Aries comes from uniting. It's like a split in your energy, okay? And it has to do with forgiving a past version of yourself. Because at some point in the past, you had your heart broken. There was some sort of loss, something that's, I want to say tragic. I keep hearing tragic. Something that was very tragic. It ended tragically. Even though, okay, I understand. It ended tragically, and you're like, well, I kind of asked for that. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like you're looking at a past situation and saying the reason it broke my heart was because I fed to it. I fed it. I fed the situation that got my heart broke. I allowed it to happen. I participated in that thing that broke my heart, right? We break our own hearts, oh my God, all the time, baby dolls, all right? And so there's this past version of yourself, this past moment in time that you've been distancing, your present self has been wanting to distance yourself from, like, oh, that wasn't me, oh, I would never do that. Doesn't want me hearing this live today because he has just been a chatterbox. Absolutely, absolutely, all right? Many blessings to the children. All right. So this is what happened. Okay. You're trying to distance yourself from this, something you did in the past, but you keep coming back to it. You keep coming back to it. And what wants to come out in order to allow this reconciliation, I did a reading last night where I explained to somebody what soul retrieval is. So it's almost kind of like that. Like there's this part of you, and I don't even think it's a present, but a past part of you that you're rejecting. And you need to bring it back in. Accept it, love it, forgive it. And this is the realization that you are having. That maybe you have been avoiding that part of yourself because you still hold on to the fear that it could happen again. That you could walk into a situation that's going to break your heart again. And this clarity comes out of it that says, you know what? That past version of me walked into heartache because they didn't know what I know now. Do you see what I mean? I hope you guys see what I mean. Okay? So it's about forgiving a past version of yourself for not knowing what you know now. And I feel like that came up for one of my other signs as well. What comes out of this? Oh, you guys. Fertility and well-being. Abundance, health, peace of mind, right? The ability to sort of like glide magically through life. But this is your whole self once you learn to accept and forgive a little tiny bit of what you did in the past. Because when you think back at that story of how things played out, you don't like to think of yourself as that way, but you were in that moment. And so accepting and forgiving and loving yourself for having walked into a situation that broke your heart, that's going to pave the way for so much abundance. Fertility is just all about growth, you guys. About feeling good. And I love it. Okay? So there's my message for my Aries. Let's get to my fellow bulls. Gonna clean these up real quick. Set a timestamp. 1/21/12. All right, Tauruses. Let's see what wants to come out for you guys today. What's coming up from the week of July 26th to August 1st for my Taurus collective? It's a great big deck, you guys, so thank you for your patience. Because I like jumpers. I just like to take jumpers. The cards will tell me when they're ready to come out. And there we go. Communication is key. Wow. Transit Uranus on my North Node had been out. I bet. Hey, come get out of your comfort zone. And if you can't, I'm going to push you. Yeah. So you guys, here's a detail, because this came up in an earlier reading, right? About a conversation being had to protect a connection. The difference, and this is the beauty of being an intuitive reader. Each time a card shows up, something different is being shown to me. One person has their eyes closed to a situation while the other one's just looking away from it. One person doesn't know it's there because their eyes are closed. One person knows it's there, but they're trying not to look at it. Spirit, what else would you have for us? Taurus South Node. Oh, wow. So we have a Taurus South Node and a Taurus North Node. Way to go. I love that. We got one more coming out of this deck, I promise you. There we are. Commitment. All right. And lighten your load actually wants to be talked about. Lighten your load and believe in the impossible. Interesting. Okay. Tauruses. Oh no. Okay. I have Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer. I didn't realize I was low on battery, so we're going to have to get through this. I'm kind of taking a minute though. Let's be honest. All right. All right. Communication is key. And this is really about, you guys said like one person's eyes are closed to a situation and one person sees it if they don't want to. But in this, and this is another one that showed up earlier, but this time it's like they whatever this is that they're created, they're both trying to carry it forward, but maybe in different directions. Okay. Wow. And they're both holding in their beak, right? Like, how do birds communicate with each other? Each one is afraid that if they open their mouth, if they speak their perspective, they might drop. They might actually lose the thing that they're trying to hold on to. But okay. You guys, this is a beautiful energy that's coming through. You're carrying the world on your back by not speaking of it. You're carrying the weight of the world on your back because you have this fear that what you truly want is not the most possible. Have the courage to speak up here, Taurus. Have the courage to speak up. We're going to do Hermetic Tarot and see what wants to come out. This is going to feel so good when this conversation is had, you guys. It's going to feel so good. But each person is kind of keeping quiet right now out of fear. They're just like, ooh, it's a good thing right now. What if we talk about it? We talk about it, we look at it, it might go away. Nah, that's fear talking. Okay. Wow, there's a Queen of Pentacles and a Queen of Swords. Queen of the Thrones of Earth and Queen of the Thrones of Air. So one person who's really looking at things very practically. Nine of Pentacles, Hermit, and Eight of Pentacles. All right, Seven of Pentacles at the bottom. We have the 7, 8, and 9, but they're going in reverse order. What is this talking about, Spirit? Wow. These are two people who need to talk. One's being very analytical and one's being very practical, and those are slightly different. All right? Those are slightly different things. One is thinking about the ideals at play, while the other is looking at like the practical, how those ideals manifest in the earth realm. And each of them has gone within. And that's okay, because this is an important conversation to be had. If there's any fears about having this conversation, then that's the best thing to do. Go within and address the fears. Because these are two people who I believe they might be considering a commitment. And it could be like a work issue, it could be a relationship, it could be, like signing a lease together, like, getting a roommate, something like that. Because each person is doing really, really well on their own. But they're each kind of thinking about maybe investing in some sort of partnership. Okay? Putting the work in to some sort of partnership. Because the potential is there. One person's eyes have been closed to it and the other person's been looking away. Yeah, that's what wanted to come out. I knew something else. Justice. This is a very fair exchange. Okay? It's at least very fair that this conversation be had. But I think that each person is worried about whether or not the other person can provide to them as much as they can provide to themselves on their own. Okay? So autonomy is definitely an issue that's at play here. Can I partner with somebody? Can I sign this contract? Can I take this job or enter into this business and still be able to be an independent, autonomous agent? Still be able to live the life that I want to live. And these two people just have to talk about expectations and desires, where they want their life to go, where they want the business plan to go in order to find that balance. Ooh, Chiron and Lilith in the same house. I always call, like, Chiron is to the masculine what Lilith is to the feminine. That's the way that I always see them. Geminis. Let's get you out here, Geminis. Oh my gosh, you guys, if I have enough time, I almost want to do a Starseed collective reading separate from this. So it's not just a couple minutes at the end of the video, but I think I'm going to try to do that tomorrow. Is get you guys a Starseed collective reading, because I got to tell you what, that visit to Chichen Itza, and I talked to so many of the Mayan people that first of all, how cool is it that it's this amazing ancient culture that still has descendants walking around talking about their ideals today? But this one guy I was talking to was like, oh yeah, they definitely went to Venus. They definitely went to the Pleiades. Like, it was just so cool how, like, these old school Mayans are, like, definitely, like, believe that there was contact between the Mayan civilization and star civilization. So I thought that was very cool. Another thing that was really cool is how much the law of what I call the law of one, well, everybody calls it that because that's what it is, but this idea that there is no other, only other selves. Oh my God, that kept coming up too. Let's focus on Gemini. Gemini. Gemini is finding something. Friendship. Spirit guide and career. Interesting. This is, I don't really feel like this is a spirit guide so much as this is some sort of mentor. Okay? For some of you, you are finding a new spirit guide that's going to help you to build your career. That's just going to give you some tools that you need to help to create the road that you want to go down. For some of you guys, this is a person. It's a human being who is a friend of yours, yes, and look at this Six of Pentacles, that can give you some tips that are going to help you to increase your revenue, to take your career in the place where you want it to go. All right, let's see what else wants to come out. We've got the Queen of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. Interesting. Yeah, but there's a little bit of a warning here. Tell me more. Yeah. Ooh, the Magician. Okay. So, Gemini, this is somebody who at least seems to have what it takes to be able to help you in your career. But you're being asked here by Spirit to really be discerning, to really listen to your intuition. Okay? Because the world here, here's the thing. Somebody's offering you some sort of exchange. All right? This is like the opposite of what I was just saying was it the last reading? Where you're questioning whether or not somebody can offer you more than you can offer to yourself. This is somebody like trying to sell you that. Being like, hey, I can help you. You can't do this on your own, but if you partner with me, it's going to be great. And Spirit's coming in to say, nah, babe, you got this. You got this. You got this. Because it's in some ways, it's a test. It's a karmic test about you believing in yourself and your ability to do things on your own. Okay? If anything in you says that this situation is not going to lead you down a path of autonomy, down a path of prosperity, you've got to listen to this. Because we have the Magician and the Devil. Okay, there's an energy that maybe you can't trust. But really what's going on is it's a test of can you trust yourself? All right? Spirit is asking you that. Show that you can trust yourself, that you believe in yourself, that you can do hard things on your own. All right? Just be really, really careful about temptation coming in. Because it's almost like if your prosperity Your success suddenly seems to falter when somebody else comes on the scene. Take that as a sign. All right, you guys, I have a low battery, so I'm going to do my very best to get Cancer out before it cuts off. Let's do this. Grieving and willpower. We talked about grieving earlier. And willpower. Willpower. This is for my Cancers. Adjustments are required. Believe in the impossible. Six of Swords is healing. King of Swords. Yeah, absolutely. This is beautiful. This is you just getting tired of staying in an energy where you're grieving. Okay? Because there's a difference between grieving, which is feeling the feelings in order to release them, and just kind of wallowing. Some of you guys have been wallowing. Because you're like, oh, this thing is so sad. How will I ever get over this thing? And it's like you just decide to. You just decide to. For some of you, you don't realize that it's that easy. This is very much what I was saying with Mercury opposing Pluto. That there's this all of a sudden like, oh my gosh, I can let myself out of this prison. Because the willpower in the King of Swords, it's about just making the decision to accept something as it is and move forward. Even if it felt like you were never going to get over that thing. Freddie's here. Freddie's a Cancer, actually. Aren't you, Freddie? We love you. Okay. Cancers. Queen of Swords. Seven of Pentacles and the Hermit. Yeah, this, for some of you guys, you've been really, really waiting for something to come back around, and you're realizing that it's not, you can't keep staying in that energy. It's time to just accept what was, forgive yourself, release it, allow yourself, it's just making the decision to get over something. Because you literally cannot stay in the energy that you've been in. You can't stay in that energy any longer. Okay? It's really affecting your growth. It's affecting your well-being. And for some of you guys, you really are going to have to give yourself the time alone you need to heal from this situation. For some of you guys, you've just been trying to be like, oh no, everything's fine. And then you finally decide, no, this is something where I need to go within, and I really need to put an end to this situation, okay, of sitting in some emotion that has grown more and more and more uncomfortable, all right? So this is the decision to move away from that and understanding that it could, in fact, take some time, you guys, all right? There's my message for my Cancers. I'm probably going to get on either tonight or tomorrow and just do a full-on Starseed collective reading for you guys because, like I said, I had this amazingly, spiritually eye-opening week, and definitely connecting with some of our galactic guides. And so they're going to have a message for you guys. But like I said before, my phone is dying, so I'm going to have to cut this off. I want to thank everybody for being here. If you're in the room and you haven't gotten a chance to like the video, please go ahead and take a moment to do that. And I hope to see you guys back on my channel again soon. Take care.